Everybody, it's Uncle Scott. Welcome back to the QwerkyReax channel. And today we're going to do something just a little bit different. Instead of doing a full reaction to a movie, I wanted to talk about one movie in particular that seems to either be ripping off spy movies, like completely, almost shot for shot, or they've just found like a different way of kind of honoring or kind of giving like a head nod, hat tip to spy movies of the past. It is so blatant and it happens so many times in the movie. I thought it would be best if I showed it to you side by side. So that's what we're doing here today. The name of the movie is My Spy. It stars Dave Bautista and Chloe Coleman. You can see him right there in the poster. And basically, it's The Pacifier. If you ever saw that Vin Diesel movie, had Brittany Snow in it, a few other people. He's a special forces guy that has to keep safe a family. Dave Bautista in this movie is a special forces guy with Kristen Schaal. That's his partner. And his responsibility is Chloe Coleman and her mother in the movie. While other spies or agents are trying to hunt them down. So that's the premise right there. But as I was watching, it came out in like 2000, I think. I noticed these really similar scenes and then noticed some of them were like shot for shot, dialogue for dialogue. I was like, this is kind of crazy. So figured the best thing to do was to just show it to you guys side by side and see what you think. So I created a little compilation video here.
Hello, plutonium pits.
This is the opening scene of My Spy.
The yield of 800 kilotons is possible.
They're inspecting the plutonium from the terrorists. Now the next clip is going to come from Mission Impossible Fallout. Okay. I mean, it's 3, not 1. Right? And they're testing it. Okay. So this might seem like, all right, Scott, you're a little over the top, right? I get it. And it may seem that way because I've never had plutonium before. The only other reference to plutonium I think I know from movies is Back to the Future. So, and that it comes in a tank about that size. So I don't know, maybe that's the way terrorists distribute plutonium these days, is in these balls. But so that one was a subtle one. You really had to be paying attention to it. And it's the first scene of the movie. So I didn't really think anything of it until the other stuff happened. So let's look at the other stuff.
See that apartment building there?
Yeah?
You know anybody who lives there?
No.
10 minutes. I want to see you on one of those balconies.
I only need 5 minutes.
Couple things to note. They're eating at a food truck on the corner of a street somewhere, busy city, right? That's number one. Number two, he says, do you see that apartment right there? She says, yes. Do you know anybody there? She says, no. That's all going to matter in a few seconds. Also, notice he said in 10 minutes, and she said, I can do it in 5. I'll back it up for you a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about.
On one of those balconies.
I only need 5 minutes.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a KGB agent posing as a 4th grader.
C'est la vie, c'est la vie. 300 millions de soviétiques.
Okay, so also it's a montage of her learning how to be a spy, and the second clip in there you saw was her basically learning how to cheat a polygraph. That's what that was. Then she walks in the montage. She walks out onto the balcony and raises a drink, right? Okay. Spy Game. Robert Redford, Brad Pitt. Brilliant movie. If you haven't seen it, you should.
See that apartment building?
Yeah.
Know anyone who lives there?
No. Within 5 minutes, I want to see you standing in one of those balconies.
Did you serve in Vietnam?
No, I did not.
So the dialogue is verbatim, both sides of it. Then we see Brad Pitt learning how to answer and fool a polygraph, a lie detector test. Exactly what we saw Dave Bautista and Chloe doing in My Spy. And now, you won't be able to hear it, guys. I had to take the audio out because it was too much audio and I thought it might get copywritten. But it's just random music playing underneath. Redford looks up. Brad Pitt puts his hand out and toasts with the glass, just like she did. So instead of a glass of tea that Brad Pitt is doing, or coffee maybe, she does with a glass of milk because they had to change it a little bit for the younger kid, right? That's shot for shot, dialogue for dialogue. I'm not crazy. Okay, there's more. There's more.
It's nothing personal, honey. We're still friends.
I mean, if you know, you know. I really hope people in the comments will say whether or not they know what movie this is a duplicate of. I don't want to say ripoff because I'm not trying to put a negative connotation on this. I'm really not. I'm just saying this is a lot. Like, it's a lot in this movie that directly relates to other movies. It's almost like a, you know, a combination mix or something. I don't know. Even the slow-mo fall at the end. True Lies. Jamie Lee Curtis tries to fire a movie. Arnold dives out of the way. The slow-mo of it coming to a rest like that, and then the two of them looking at each other in disbelief. Right? It's the same thing. So it's like, obviously they knew what they were doing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they don't call it out. So if the audience hasn't seen those other movies, they're not going to catch the reference, right? Or are they just assuming, are the creators of My Spy just assuming that we've all seen these other movies? Because True Lies, I get. I know a lot of people who haven't seen Spy Game because I'm suggesting it all the time. It's such a good movie. And I don't know how many people are putting two and two together on that opening scene. Let's see if you spot the next one. The next one, they call out, which made me enjoy it 10 times more. I started laughing because I was like, yes, I did the same thing when this scene started. Watch. I had to remove the audio again, but notice she just kicked red buttons. She just kicked red buttons and it made the plane start to move, right? And then he's having a fight scene trying to avoid the plane.
Is it just me or does this seem familiar?
Yes, it's familiar to Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's in a fight scene. Karen Allen hits the guy in the back of the head. He pushes red buttons forward. The plane starts moving, and he's still in a fight scene trying to avoid getting hit. The fuel truck gets hit, which caused the big explosion at the end. Spoiler alert. And here's Kristen. Listen to what she says.
Oh, I mean the propeller and the fuel tank. It's like all we're missing is Nazis.
Stop talking! She calls it out. And I just left a little fight scene in there so you would see that, you know, he's still fighting. But she calls it out like right away. Oh, all we're missing is the Nazis, which I thought was brilliant. That was such a brilliant way to do that. But the other ones, Spy Game and True Lies, which are the most obvious ones, aren't mentioned at all. There's no hat tip. There's no head nod. So it just seemed weird to me. These are the things. There's a reason the channel's called Qwerky. I say it all the time. These are the things that gnaw at my movie brain, and I can't let them go. So I figured I would just share them with you so they could gnaw at your brain too, and we could just have it gnaw together, and we could talk about it. Oh, and the other reason I wanted to make this video years ago when I first saw the movie, but didn't really have an outlet, was going to do it on TikTok or something, and didn't think people would really care. And you may not care now, but at least I've put it out there. But now, what brought it back to my mind? Yeah. There's a sequel. Came out last month. My Spy, The Eternal City. And I haven't seen it yet. And I'm wondering if I should watch it. I wonder if there's more of these types of little homages to past spy movies. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think. I realize this is a different kind of video. I like kind of having conversations about movies. So I know it's a little bit out there, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And hopefully seeing the things side by side makes me seem less crazy. Not less quirky, less crazy. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Leave in the comments if you want me to comment on more movies, or if you're looking forward to more music stuff, always feel free to do that as well. And remember, don't wait for life to be easy to be happy.